Right, okay guys, so we're in this little park, like I say. I've just done a little quick, what's them under the tree there. In fact, that's the tree I was under there just for a minute or two. It seems to have stopped again for now, but as you can see, there's a lot of cloud up there now. But you see there's a blue bit there, you see what I mean? So anyway, right, so basically this, I don't know what this little park's called, little green area. Now the other thing I wanted to show you is a little sort of memorial thing or whatever it is, right over there. We'll go up to it later, but if you can see, you've got this little thing there. I'm not even sure what it is now, I can't remember. It's been a while since I was there. I have taken photographs of it before, but this, funny enough, this is another little part that the cameras will do pieces to, but funny enough they do it mostly over there where we've been before. Anyway, so this is the side of the House of the Parliament, or the back of the House of the Parliament. Now if you can see, that's the scaffolding over there. Now you see, the thing is, at the moment the House of the Parliament are in dire need of restoration, because they might look clean and nice on the outside, but inside apparently the infrastructure and what have you, the thing is leaking all over the place. Apparently it's been many years since it was, you know, really refurbished, you know what I mean, apparently, from what I've read and what have you. But the thing I have about this, and I've mentioned it in a video before, the one thing I have about this is that it's going to cost 3 billion, and not million either, but 3 billion pounds to do this thing up. Now, like I said, I'm always torn about this in some ways, because yes, it's an historic building, yes, you could argue that it needs preserving, blah blah blah, and it is a beautiful building. I can't argue with that, I can't. It is a beautiful building, no matter what you think, or what it represents, or what it stands for, or whatever. And again, like I say, if you're a progressive, you could always argue, well, you know, it's had its time, it's had its day, maybe it's time to build a new one for the 21st and onward, you know, whatever. Maybe you could make an argument for that, whatever, but you know, the thing is that, yeah, I can understand why it needs to be saved, but the thing is, it's public money, that £3 billion, and yet they're crying out, oh, we can't afford this service, or we can't afford that service, or we can't afford to house people, or we can't afford, you know, but you can afford to spend £3 billion of the public purse, public money, on renovating that thing. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know, like I say, I do struggle with that. I do struggle with the issues around that. I mean, like I say, there's a part of me thinks, no, you should spend that money on the services that you say you can't afford anymore, you know, local services for people and what have you, you know what I mean, day-to-day stuff that people, you know, to help them survive and all the rest of it. You know, you're putting a building before people, you know what I mean, sort of thing. So, but then again, like I say, I can see the other aspect of it, you know, the fact that it is an historic, beautiful building that, you know, yeah, you'd like to save it, but could it not be saved in some other way, you know what I mean, using other money, you know what I mean? Maybe you get these rich people to flipping fork out for it, you know what I mean, get these flipping rich bankers and what have you, you know, that's what I say, get them to flipping and stick their hand in the pocket. Why should it be the public purse that pays for it, you know what I mean? It might be a public building, well, so-called public building. Anyway, I'll get off my high horse, and we'll forget about that for now, because like I say, it is a bit of a, well, for me it's a hot potato, isn't it? And what's then, because like I say, you know, I am a little bit torn on it, but actually maybe I'm not torn. The thing is, like, why spend public money on it? You know what I mean? Not public money, maybe, like I said, we get these rich bankers to pay for it. Do you know what I mean? Why the heck not? You know, they've done enough flipping what's name to us, so why can't they pay for it? Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, I saw this the other day, and I was really curious about it, to be quite honest, because the thing is that, you see, I don't know if you can see this plaque here, by the way, so let's have a look. No, it's difficult to see it, I think, on there. I can't tell if you guys can read that or not, but it was 1977 this was planted by Her Majesty the Queen to commemorate the 25th anniversary of her you know, being on the throne. So anyway, the thing is, this is an oak tree, right? Now, I know that you get slightly different types of oak trees, and I don't know, I would imagine it was a sapling or something when it was first planted. I don't know how old it was when it was first planted. But essentially, this tree, when you think about it, 1977, I would have been 11 years old, I think, roughly. So I would have been about 11 years old when this was planted. I'm now 50. God blimey, what's that? That's 40... That's... No, hang on. Oh, God blimey, I'm useless at maths. What is that? Essentially, this tree is virtually... It's nearly 40 years old, or it's 40 years old, isn't it? Let's, yeah. This tree's 40 years old, right? So the thing is that... Now, okay, I have no idea. I know nothing about oak trees. Absolutely nothing about oak trees. But I would have thought, after 40 years, it'd be a lot bigger than this. But then again, I don't know anything about the growth rate of oak trees at all. And I know that you can get different types of oak trees. But, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm, like I say, because I haven't got a clue about them. So, I don't really know. But I just, when I saw this, and I saw how old this tree was, and I thought, 40 years? Because some trees grow faster, don't they? Some trees, you know, 40 years later, and you could get a tree, well, maybe not that big, but I don't know. Oh, like I say, to be quite honest, I know nothing about trees. Absolutely nothing. So, you know, I know the names of some of them, and I know that, you know, they're green and they're big sometimes, but otherwise I don't really know a lot about them. But I don't know, I was a bit, when I looked at it I thought, 40 years, after 40 years, that's the size of it. I thought, wouldn't it be bigger? But anyway, that's just me, like I say, and I haven't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. So, to be quite honest, like I said, I don't know, maybe that's the standard thing about it, you know what I mean? So, but I was just curious, like I said. I thought, like, hang on, 40 years? Surely it should be bigger than that after 40 years. But then again, some of these trees live 200 years old. I mean, I have no idea how old these things are. I mean, they could well be 200 years old, these things, you know what I mean? I mean, I wonder if they were planted as saplings. Well, I presume they were planted as saplings. But imagine, you know, when you think about it, these are huge. I mean, and again, I'm not sure what type of tree. Oh, hang on, could be horse chestnut actually, because I just saw those round. They look like conkers, but I don't know. Although we call them conkers or horse chestnuts. Can you see that? I can't even see where I'm looking now. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look, you see? I don't know. Are they conkers? They could well be conkers, couldn't they? With the little furry jackets. That's how they start off, and then they get spiky as they get old. Yeah, I think this is a conker tree then, isn't it? As we would call it, conker tree. Or I guess giving it its proper name, horse chestnut. So if this is a horse chestnut tree, then, like I say, the thing is that, you know, and there's obviously quite a row of them there. And the thing is that, like I say, obviously you can see they're quite big. I mean, they're a heck of a lot bigger than, but I guess they've been around a lot longer. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're probably 200 years, maybe, could be. I've no idea. Right, okay, and now the other thing that I want to show you that I'm rather curious about, and the only thing I can assume it is, now it's this thing here, because this thing wasn't here well, I don't know, about a couple of years back, whenever it was, and I was trying to work out what it was, and I thought, like, is it something for the media, you know, when they're having sort of like, when there's elections going on or whatever, because, you know, in some of my other videos I was saying how they have little makeshift, if makeshift is the right word, you know, they have makeshift little setup on that part where I was filming before. And so I thought, like, oh, I wonder if this is like a more permanent sort of structure for the media to do their stuff in when elections are happening, or maybe any other significant things are happening in the government. But to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't got a clue what it is. I can't see any sort of signs that say what it is, and of course the entrance to it is on the other side, which is heavily fortified because it's the government. But then I started wondering if it's something to do with the restoration thing. But then you see, you got these porta cabin things here, which are obviously semi-permanent whilst they're doing the restoration thing. So I must admit, I haven't got a clue what this is. I mean, it does have some writing on the window there, but I can't remember if that actually said exactly what it is, and from here, to be quite honest, I can't read it. Yeah, I was just curious as to what that was. Right, okay, so now a couple of other things whilst we're here. I've just noticed we're actually right at the side of the Thames, of course, because the House of Parliament is right on the Thames here. And that's St Thomas's Hospital over there, that big square building over there. There's Millennium Eye just down there. That's Westminster Bridge, that bridge there. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. And there it is. There's Westminster Bridge, as you can see. Wow, that's a good zoom on this camera. So, yep, that's Westminster Bridge, and there's a boat going underneath it as we speak. So, there you go. And like I say, just over there is the Millennium Wheel, or Millennium Eye, depending on which way you want to call it. And then, like I say, you got St Thomas's Hospital, just over there. We've now got a noisy helicopter coming over, which is handy. That building in the distance, and the one right in the distance, I'll zoom in again so you can see, not that tower there. I'm not sure what that tower is actually off the top of my head, but that thing behind it there, which looks like a slice of the building's gone, that is the Elephant and Castle. And that's all new building that's going up round the Elephant and Castle. That's all getting done up round there. So there's not many areas in London that isn't, to be quite honest. I mean, that's another thing that always puzzles me about when they say about austerity and this, that and the other and blah blah blah, and we've got no money and da-da-da sort of thing. And I think to myself, well, hang on, you say you got no money, but flipping it seems to be a lot of building work going on around London. Everywhere you go there's a new building project or whatever. So I must admit, it does make me wonder. Now let me just zoom back in over there, because that cloud formation is gorgeous. I love clouds, by the way, that's another thing with me. I absolutely adore clouds. I constantly look at clouds, I really love them. I think they're amazing things. You know, I've still got that childish thing where you can see shapes in them. Do you know what I mean? I still look at them that way sometimes. I absolutely adore clouds, I do. And I think, again, it's the artist in me, you see. You know, I see that and I look at it and I think how amazing, how magnificent they are. Do you know what I mean? Especially when they're lit in different ways by the light and by the sun, you know, and then you get dark ones. And when you think about it, I think, although I could be wrong because I'm not a meteorologist, but I think essentially the colour of the clouds is purely dependent on the light. And the way the light refracts on them and stuff and what have you, and the thickness of them, I guess, as well. Because I guess essentially they're just water vapour. So the thing is, I don't think they have a natural colour of their own. I don't think necessarily. So you know, when you think about it, the colour that you see the clouds are all essentially, I think they're just one colour. Do you know what I mean? Whatever colour that actually is. I mean, I must admit, I haven't got a clue. I'm assuming it's white, but I don't know. I might even be wrong on that. Translucent, depending on the thickness, I guess. I don't know. But when you think about it, they don't actually have a colour of their own, like most other things in nature and in life. Most other things have a natural colour. But when you think about it, I mean, even the sky though, if you think deeply enough about it, and I do, I mean, I think about some stuff you wouldn't believe I think about in a deep way. I don't know why, it's just the way my head is. It's just the way my mind works. You know, I think very, very deeply about stuff. And if you think about it, when you think about it, you know, the thing is that why is the sky blue? And again, of course, it's something to do with the refraction of the light through the molecules of oh no, I've forgotten what the nitrogen, I believe, and I believe that's something to do with why it is blue. And again, I might be completely wrong. I'm fairly certain that's what it is, but so even the sky essentially doesn't have a colour really. It's only that colour because the light refracts through nitrogen, and that's what creates that blue colour. So the sky and the clouds essentially don't really have a natural colour of their own, essentially. So yeah, no, sorry, just find it fascinating. But yeah, when we see it through the light, you know, and the way the light catches it and the thickness of them, I mean, those ones over there, for instance, those dark, they look grey, don't they? They look sort of slate grey, gunmetal grey, whatever. Sort of like, I'd say more sort of just like a slate grey, really. But in actual reality, I guess they don't actually have that colour. They're not actually that colour. It's just the thickness of the cloud, and I would imagine the way the light is lighting it, the way the light lights it. So, you know, because then you look at those clouds over there, and you see one that's brightly lit by the sunlight, and it looks pure white. Do you know what I mean? And yet the cloud next to it, which looks completely dark, I'm sure is the same colour as soon as the sun lights it. So, yeah, you see, I think about the most oddest things when you think about it, and I think and people are probably thinking, wow, what's so interesting about that? But I just find all that stuff fascinating. I really do. But like I say, it's just the way my mind works, you know what I mean? I'm fascinated by everything and all sorts of things. I've got one of those inquiring minds. I love to know why things work, how does this work, why does that happen? I've always been like that, you know? And then kind of makes you wonder why academically I didn't do too well in school. And I guess that's more about emotional issues and what have you, and lots of other different factors that, you know, if you looked into it hard enough and long enough, you could come up with different scenarios as to why that is. But essentially, you know, I have one of these minds that just constantly asking questions about stuff. Why is this, and what does that mean, and what's over that hill there, and what's that do, and do you know what I mean? I can't help it, that's the way I am. And I guess when I think about it also, for most of my life, one way or another, I've had plenty of time to think about these things, because I've had nothing else to do, you know, a lot of the time. So, right, okay, so I'll tell you what, we'll head to that thing, and I think I'll make this the last vlog. Well, I don't know if they'll carry on the vlog, or, yeah, we'll carry on the vlog for now. So, yeah. So like I say, it's been a bit of a wet weekend, and, you know, like I say, the weather's been not very good, so that's why I've not been out and about as much as normal. So it's nice to get out today, to be quite honest. It's nice to be out and about and in the fresh air and just doing stuff, and do you know what I mean? And like I say, the thing is that, you know, money's running short, and so I can't go as far as I was before, so it's going to be more local stuff. And then, like I say, this issue around, can I pay my internet for this month? Good question. I mean, it's only like 20 odd quid sort of thing, which is not the cheapest either, actually. There's some that are a lot cheaper, but, you know, 20 quid a month or just over, you know, if I can scrounge enough together through various, you know, maybe I'll just do a little bit of bobs. And, you know, the thing is, and all, one of the other things is that I'm going to be doing some work for Engage, which basically means that they'll pay me in a different way to Emergence pays me. So therefore, I might get something before the 20th of this month. So that being the case, which I hope will be, that means then obviously I'll have it covered, and so I won't have to worry. But if I have to rely them paying me on a monthly basis or something like that as well, well, I might struggle a little bit. It depends on if they pay me early on in the month. I don't know. But as I said, all being well, hopefully, you know, I'll be able to cover my internet, I hope. So, right, okay, so we're just now walking to the end of this, to where the thing is. Oh, there's the river police. Sorry, I can't keep zooming in every 5 minutes, sorry. So you might not have seen that this then. So, but yeah, we're coming up to this little monument thing, and I can't remember what it was, because, do you know, one of the things is, for some reason in the back of my mind, it's got something to do with Albert, Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know why I'm thinking that, to be quite honest. But there's a little bit of a blurb here, so let's have a look at the blurb and see what it tells us. But for some reason I'm thinking it's got something to do with Albert, Prince Albert, like I said, from Queen Victoria's thing. But I could be completely wrong, as I said. Buxton Memorial. Oh right, okay, so no, I was completely and utterly wrong, I told you. I don't know everything. And I always stand corrected if I'm wrong about something. Right, so... Charles Buxton MP, in memory of his father, Sir Thomas Fowell, Buxton, and those associated with him in the struggle for the abolition of slavery, can't speak, in the British colonies. Oh right, so it's a thing to do with slavery, right, and the abolition thing. Well, that's cool. Wow, I don't know why I was thinking there must have been a reason why I was thinking that, but well, it escapes me why I was thinking that right now. Right, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm leaving it as long as I can, because the thing is that, like I say, sometimes reading in public I find a bit difficult. So, right, okay. So, right, okay. I think I've left it there long enough. So let's have a look at it. And look, there's a commemorative stone thing here as well. And look at that, look. See? Can you see that, guys? Can you see that better? So this plaque commemorates the 150th anniversary of the Anti-Slavery Society, 1839 to 1989. Wow. So there we go. Look how warm the stone's getting though as well. See what the weather's doing to it. Amazing how erosion can happen. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. Look at how it's all chipping away. Look, you see? Look, it's all chipping away. I wonder if they'll restore this at some point. I mean, it looks like they've restored it a couple of times, I would have thought, because, you know, I could have sworn when I first ever saw this thing, and I can't remember when that was now off the top of my head, but I'm almost certain that it was full of dirt and dark, and, do you know what I mean? Then they cleaned it up, and, do you know what I mean? But I could be wrong again, like I say, but I'm sure I've seen pictures of it, you know, when it's, anyway, like I say, I mean, it looks all nice and clean, but you can see the wear on it, and that's just purely from the weather when you think about it. I mean, you know, 150 odd years, well in fact more than that now, because that was 89. So, you know, add another 20 years on top of that or whatever. Almost, you know, you could argue almost, you know, it's getting near the 200 mark. Do you know what I mean? And marble obviously fares well out in the elements, because obviously that's marble. Well, I say obviously, I'm pretty sure it's marble. And the metal bit in the middle, obviously if it's well protected, will last as well, I guess. But this is sandstone, obviously. This brown stuff, that's sandstone. The sandstone is a very soft stone. So I guess it's hardly surprising that it's starting to wear as much as it is. I'm not sure what the stone underneath is, the darker greyer browny stone. I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I'm not a stonemason, don't profess to what's saying, but I don't know, maybe that's sandstone as well. Maybe sandstone comes in different colours. I must admit, I'm not sure, because the texture and the way it's, well, mind you though, it's flaky. That's more flaky than, say, the way the sandstone is wearing. So I can only assume it's a different type of stone, but I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest with you. But again, it's wearing away. Look at that, look at that, look how much that's worn away. Maybe that's partly people, you know, sitting in there and going in there and what have you. I mean, there's another sort of commemorative plaque thing. So, don't know how well you guys can see that, sorry. Wasn't looking what I was doing properly. So again, I don't know how well you can read that. I'll just leave it there for a minute, so hopefully you guys can read it, you know what I mean? I'm not a very fast reader, so I know that sometimes when people put stuff on their videos, sometimes it goes so quick you don't get a chance to read it, so you have to pause the video to read it. And the thing is that, like, you know, but then sometimes people leave it on too long. So it's just trying to find that right balance between people being able to read it long enough and people not getting bored just staring at it. So right, I think that'll be long enough, I hope, for you guys. I guess you can always pause the video if you want to read it, if you missed it. Right, so let's have a little, let's go inside for a minute. See, it's also like a little fountain, or at least it used to be, because obviously that must have been for water coming out of it. In fact, when you think about it, maybe these lions' heads, well, they look like lions' heads, I'm not sure. Maybe the water came out of their mouths. So obviously it was a little fountain thing at some point, obviously which is no longer on. But look at the stonework on this. This is awesome. You know, it's a really, really nice stonework. It's really nice. And of course it's typical of Victorians, because Victorians loved their detail, and they loved making buildings, even simplest of functioning buildings, look ornate and pretty, sort of thing. So yeah, so that's quite a nice little thing, and like I say, you know, also makes a good little shelter sometimes when you want to try and get out of the rain, I guess. Right, okay, let's head over here, because I've just spotted something else now in this park that I've never seen before, because I think it's new. Oh look, you see, you've got even deck chairs, and I guess when the sun does come out, then all the deck chairs come out as well. But I've noticed there's a little sort of cabin over there. Looks like some sort of like refreshment cabin thing, you know, where you get like teas and coffees and sandwiches or something. And there's also a little kiddies playground. And like I say, I don't know when this went in and when they made this, because I haven't been in this bit for a long time. It's funny because I was down the other end, down that bit, about 3 weeks ago or something like that, looking at that oak tree, like I said. But like I say, I've not been down this bit for a long time. It's starting to rain again now. This is all we need. And it's starting to get a little bit heavier. I'm going to try and keep filming as long as I can, but I want to try and capture this little cabin thing, because I'm rather curious. They've got a nice little seat here as well, this bit of a seating arrangement. I'm going to try and get under this tree quick. Like I say, I'm trying to film as long as I can without the camera getting too wet. But look, there's like a nice little tea bar thing, which sells snacks and all sorts of stuff. I've never seen that before. And like I say, look, you see, you've got little kiddies sort of playground thing there, which I'd never, you know, that's all new again. New to me anyway. Right, okay, so actually that brings us nicely to the bus stop, which I'm going to jump on the bus shortly. I've just missed one, but that's okay, it's no problem. So yeah, this is another little park where sometimes the TV cameras will interview politicians. Sometimes, in fact, there's somebody over there. I don't know if they're just taking a picture or whether they're. No, I think they're just taking a picture. Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, like I say. In fact, I think I can see a camera light. Yes. Yes. No. Is it? Yes, it is. Yes. See what I mean? In fact, let's go and have a nosy, shall we? Why not? Why not? Yes, you see, this is what I was saying to you. You see, that they also do sort of interview politicians and what have you in this little park as well. But I think, like I say, the other place where we were earlier on, they do it far more often there than they do it in here. Now, I mean, I don't know what's saying, but you see where that light is? I don't know if you guys can see the light that's on. That's how I managed to spot the fact that they were there. But like I say, you know, we'll just have a little wander, because it's just, again, I just find it interesting. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have a little nosy, because that's the thing with me. I am quite a nosy person, to be quite honest. Well, sorry, I am. You know what I mean? I mean, it's more about curiosity than anything. It's not really nosy. I mean, you know, I don't want to know other people's business. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in that. But, you know, if people are doing things, or there's a certain thing that I've never seen before, or whatever, then, you know, my natural curiosity just comes in. Do you know what I mean? So, but, like I say, I mean, obviously I don't want to get into people's personal business or something like that. I don't mean that kind of nosy. I just mean curious. You know, and like I say, all I'm going to do is walk past anyway. I can't see why there's any reason why I can't do that necessarily. So, but yeah, so then I think what we'll do is, once I've done that, I think we'll walk back, and then we'll head to, in fact, we could head to the bus stop just down here. In fact, that's what we'll do. So, okay, cool. fascinating. So yeah, let's say, you know, the old camera people there doing their filming. Yeah, now don't get paranoid, people, you know, looking around thinking, why are you filming me? Oh, okay, why are you filming him? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm just a passerby, just passing by, doing my own little thing. Right, okay, so I think we will leave it here, because like I say, this video has been going on for ages, and most of it is just me waffling on when you think about it, and like I say, it is starting to rain. So okay, let's leave it there for now. Bye for now.